It's time to talk about what's going on in America. It's time to talk about what's going on in the workforce and in the homes of the American middle class. It's time to talk about the status and the future of today's economy. It's time to talk labor with your host, Jerry Williams Sr.
Well, hello, we're back at Talk Labor, and you're with Jerry Williams, your host. And again, we have a great lineup for you today. A lot of things going on that you need to know about right around here in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois and the United States itself. But remember, every time I come on here, I tell you to keep your head out of the sand. Don't be afraid to talk. If things bother you, you speak up. If you don't speak up, it can and will become a detriment to everybody around you, and it can destroy you. So you must speak up. Don't be afraid to speak up. And if you are afraid to speak up, guess what? You can come to Talk Labor, and we'll do it for you. Right? Okay, today we got some great guests for you today. We have a young lady by the name of Miss Pamela Daniels that's going to give you information that I think that you're really going to appreciate. She'll be on in the second segment, and we're going to have our co-host back, Danny Joe from the Danny Joe Company, and she's going to be talking about the upcoming artists and performers and entrepreneurs that will be on the show in the next upcoming week. So here we are. We're talking about things that we should know about today, and that is labor. This is a labor talk show, but we talk about everything. So you feel free to talk about everything. And if you feel like you want to call in, you got a question, call in. And keep sending those emails to talklabor@gmail.com. And we answer you as quickly as we possibly can. Now let's start off by talking about labor today. What you want to do, you got to understand what labor is all about. You got a man right now in Springfield that's trying to destroy labor. You know that, and I know that. And not only him, there's a lot of conglomerates that want to destroy labor. We were very fortunate, and I hate to say it like this, but we were very fortunate that Scalia died from the Supreme Court. Because had he not, labor would have gone up by the way of Rome, burned down. They were trying to destroy labor by saying that labor cannot charge you union dues anymore. You can pay if you want to, but you still got to get the benefits. And it was just a total destruction. But as it is, when it went before the Supreme Court, it was a 4-4 tie, which meant that they had to take it back down to the U.S. District Court. And the district court had already ruled in favor of labor, saying that no, unions do have a right to collect dues. Thank God. But keep in mind, that's not enough. It's a 4-4 tie. You think they won't try it again? This is why you got to get out there and vote. You got to make sure you get a Democrat in office. Preferably, in my opinion, Hillary Clinton. I think she's the best qualified person out of all of them. By far the best qualified person for that opportunity to be president of the United States, because she will choose the next Supreme Court justice. Do you understand how important that is? All you guys are running around, you got a good house, you got nice cars, that don't happen. That don't happen if you don't voice your opinion about voting. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm just going to give you a little bit about labor unions so you understand what I'm talking about and where you came from. We're going to run that first clip.
The Industrial Revolution was a great time in American history where America had started to become an economic power. This was possible due to a very large labor force.
Thousands of people poured in from the country to the city, seeking a new life.
Many of these workers were northern women, children, and freed southern slaves. Because of the mass amount of labor, workers were now becoming disposable and less valuable by many major manufacturers and mines.
Workers were given minimum space, no comfort, no safety, and they worked for long hours, were given minimal pay, and no health precautions were taken. Children worked about 15 hours per day, and they were lucky if they were given 50 cents per day.
There were also many other problems. Thousands of mutilations and wounds were being caused by new machines. Children would get whipped to work faster, were prohibited from talking, and if they got sick, they would do the harsher jobs. Eventually, these workers, both skilled and unskilled, realized that if they refused to work, then the mega businesses would have no labor force and thus go out of business. This is when the labor unions were first created. Thousands of workers teamed up into unions and refused to work unless they were given better working conditions.
At first, the major businesses thought that they could continue as normal, but they were soon proven wrong. Labor strikes were organized where tens of thousands of workers would riot against these horrible conditions.
One of the most well-known labor strikes was the Pullman labor strike in 1894, where about 250,000 workers rioted against their employers. A single railroad company lost $80 million. After accounting for inflation, that is about $2 billion in today's money.
The immediate consequences of these strikes were minimal. Workers had to return to their jobs, still bothered by high rates and low wages. However, these strikes were very successful in the long run. It showed major businesses that the people had power in numbers.
These strikes caused an awareness with the government that the labor conditions were wretched and that they must be changed. Maximum hour laws were enacted in the 1890s, where many states declared maximum working hours per person per day. Harsh labor conditions continued into the 20th century, but they slowly died due to the use of new machines that were the majority of manual labor.
Now, as you know, and I'd like to show this go on and then attack the young and naive people that come, along behind them. It's one of the reasons why I say you must continue to train your people. You all know I wrote a book, and it's called Ungrateful, The Rise and Fall of Labor Unions, doing very well. And in that book, we talk about that. Those are some of the things you have to do. You can get it at Barnes & Noble and Amazon and all that. There it is right there on the screen. Ungrateful, The Rise and Fall of Labor Unions. And we speak about that. And I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. We try to talk to young people, when you don't know, ask the question. And you'll get the answers. But you can't just go in and say, hey, I got a suit on, guy, and give me what I want. They're going to kick you right out of there and take all you got. A prime example of that is with the ATUs here in Chicago. The ATU unions here in Chicago. You know about the lawsuit that we filed to recover monies that the company took away from unions, and we feel very good about we haven't got the outcome yet. We're waiting on the Supreme Court to give us their ruling, but we've gone before the Supreme Court, and we gave great arguments, and we think that we're going to be okay. But, that's just part of what they do. I discovered that sometime within the last 10 years, management has just taken total advantage of some of the people that came into office that did not know anything about labor, was just in there with a suit and saying that they're labor. I want to give you a prime example of what I'm talking about. I think it was in the 90s, late 90s, the Chicago Transit Authority decided that they wanted to just buck the contract and stop giving union officers, part-time officers, their full benefits for the pension. meaning that monies that they made as working for the union was not counted toward their pension. So if you do that, who wants to work for a union and you're not going to be able to retire with a livable wage? So, but in the contract, it says that you go by the W-2 form from the company and the union when you're calculating the pension. Chicago Transit Authority decided they wanted to challenge that, even though it was not contract time, it was in the middle of a contract. And they pushed to go to arbitration on it because they say you should only get 5% of what you actually earn. Now, the arbitrator ruled in favor of the Chicago Transit Authority. But I told my attorneys, I said, I'm not satisfied with that. We need to take it to court. My sister local, which was Local 241, the bus operators, they moved on with the arbitrator's decision. And my attorneys told me, said, well, 99% of the time when the arbitrator ruled, the judges won't overturn it. I said, well, we're going to chance that 1%. And they mulled around for a minute, so I went outside to get some attorneys because they knew I was going to fire them. But they came right back and said, oh, Jerry, we didn't say we weren't going to do it. We just telling you. I said, well, get busy. And they did. Make a long story short, went to court. Court ruled in our favor that the arbitrator overstepped his bound. So those people were entitled to their full calculations for their pension. And, that ruling, so they had to pay all these people. One lady, I really broke my heart because she passed away before we got it. We gave the money to her family. But she was instrumental in, working with Jerry, please, can you get it? Well, we did. We won it. Now, here's the part that I want to get to. Then, years after I retired, you had new people in office. CTA came and tried the same method again. They knew that there was a case, and it was won already, but they tried it. And the union was going along with it. One member said, hey, I'm not going along with that because I remember when Jerry Williams filed a lawsuit and we won it. So I'm going to file a lawsuit again. He did. He re-entered a lawsuit, took him to court. When they got to court, the judge said, yes, this has been ruled on already. No, you have to pay them their full calculations. You have to use all their calculations. Okay, so they did that with this gentleman. He didn't file a class action. He just filed for himself. They did it for him. And then the union turned around and signed an agreement to give it away to the company, allowing them to do that. This is what I mean about they didn't understand what was going on. You need to have talked to someone. At that particular time, the persons in charge of ATU Local 241 was the international guy, because they had trusteed the local. His name was Rodney Richmond. And the person in charge of the local that I came from before I retired was Rick Harris. Actually signed away that right. I have it right here. Anybody that ever want to see it, I got the lawsuit. I got where they signed it away. I just found this out, and I'm like, this is nuts. What were you guys thinking about? But anyway, that's what happens when you don't know what's going on. And you got to ask questions. And members, you stay on top of them. Make sure you ask the questions that need to be asked. Okay? So, after, some period of time, I don't know if you'll ever get that back, because the union turned and agreed that they can do this. I'm still baffled about that. One of the things, let me give you another one too. The lawsuit, just to give you an update on that. You all know about the lawsuit we filed against the CTA and the pension, and we're waiting for the ruling from the Supreme Court. Just the other day, CTA sent another letter. They wrote another brief to the Supreme Court. They really didn't have authority to do that, but they wanted the Supreme Court to take a look at the case from another state, showing that these people, in a case like ours, they said, well, the judges didn't allow that there in that state, But what they fail to realize, and sometimes I be wondering why these people went to Harvard and they can't figure this out. That was an ERISA pension, a private pension, nothing to do with us. Number one. And number two and number three, the Supreme Court has ruled on about 5 cases here already, identical to ours. And they rule in favor of the workers. But by doing that, they open up the door for our attorneys to then turn around and write a brief and really pound them on the head. We don't understand why they did that. And they didn't. We can't see anything they can gain from doing it. But I know everybody is anxious, waiting on that ruling from the Supreme Court. Like I told you before, keep your fingers crossed that they do it soon, and keep your fingers crossed that they rule in our favor. Even though we feel good about it, keep your fingers crossed that they rule in our favor. Because you never know what happens, but we do believe we have a strong case. Again, when you see Tommy Sams, president of ATU Local 241, when you see Ronald Roach, my special research engineer, and when you see Jerry Matthews, when you see Jerry Williams, that's me, thank them for all the work that they put in to do this for you. Win, lose, or draw. Because we've worked on this for 8 years, almost 9 years. And it's about to come to fruition. Thank them because they didn't get paid to do this. It's just that we love our local, we love our people, and we want our money back too, just like everybody else. But if we don't do that, if we didn't file the lawsuit when we did, you couldn't have filed it. Statute of limitation would have ran out. But we did it, and we're waiting on that result right now, and we're just as anxious as you are. Even the attorneys here are anxious too. We're ready to get the ruling. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you one more, and then we're going to bring up my first guest. But I just want to talk about policing here in Chicago and policing all over the United States. First of all, we got a new police commander here, and I think it's going to be confirmed. And we don't know much about him. And I hope he's as good as everybody's hoping. But when I heard him say he's been here 27 years and he never saw police abuse, I'm like, oh, Lord, we got the wrong guy. But let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that I'm wrong. This is one time I hope that I'm wrong. And, he's a good guy. But I was looking at police in New York City. And they actually came out and started talking. And they and some of the police tried to target them. I'm talking about black, white, and female, male, all of them. They came out, a lot of them came out and started talking about how they treat people in New York and what goes on. And it's really hard to believe. I'm going to give you a little bit of the clip. It's really hard to believe. No, it ain't hard to believe. What am I talking about? Let's run that clip.
Ask about police quotas for arrests and summonses, and this is what you often hear.
Here's a quota system. There always has been, and there always will be until someone changes it.
Y'all see that? That's what they targeted.
Good. Take a seat right here, guys. Front row is set.
These NYPD officers, all currently on the job, say it's true. They've all worked the streets, the subways, and patrolled housing developments.
The department says there are no quotas.
Well, I could tell you, I'm a police officer. There are quotas in the NYPD.
Are they lying?
Absolutely. It's illegal for them to admit it.
They come from different precincts.
That's just a little bit of the clip. And you can go to YouTube and pull that up. It just came on YouTube. And you can go through the whole clip. And it's unbelievable what they're told to do and what happens to them for talking. I really applaud them. If any kind of way I can help them, or anybody I know that can help them, I'm definitely going to be supporting their cause. Because the ladies and gentlemen in New York that spoke up like that, they got more courage than most people I've seen. That's been the big problem. when I say that, and you know, I started talking about this stuff long before anybody even thought about it, years, on this program, that when you start seeing the films in Chicago, you're going to see worse than what you've seen over the country. And guess what? This is true. This is true. But the way you clean it up, and we're hoping that we do this, is not only do you catch the culprits that's doing the murders and stuff like that, but you also have to get the people that lie to help cover it up. They need to be disciplined, fired, whatever you need to do too. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to take a guess. We're going to take a break. I'm trying to get ahead of myself. We're going to take a break, and I'm going to bring my first guest up. I think you're going to enjoy this young lady. So we're going to take a break right about now, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and as I promised you, I have my first guest on, and we're going to talk to her about some of the things that's going on in Chicago and around the state. And I want you to welcome Pamela Daniels. Hi, Pam.
Hi, how are you? Thank you.
Great. You're here. You represent PHP, People Helping People.
Yes.
Why don't you give us a little synopsis of what goes on with People Helping People?
Yes, I am a insurance broker, and what we do is People Helping People. We sit down with clients and help them with their insurance, life insurance, IUL, annuities, and like RP term life insurance. That's for people who, let's say, for example, get a home, and let's say they have a home for like 20 years, 30 years mortgage. The RP term would then help them, you know, in case anything happened, that would pay off the house, and also have some money left over to pay off the bills, and also have, you know, the income that, you know, that the families had lost.
Right.
And the good thing about the RP term is, if you, let's say, don't use it, then you will receive that money back that you put in.
Really?
So that's very good about that. Also, we do smart IULs and Plan Right, and that's for like the older, you know, like seniors, 55 and plus. So, you know, we do a lot of things. I also do supplemental insurance for people who works. So let's say, you know, like for sick days, you get sick or hurt on or off the job. So
let me ask you a question on that. If I get sick on that, do you do like individual? Do you have to have groups? How do you do that supplemental play?
Actually, we can do individual
You can?
and also group as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's a good thing.
So y'all hear that? Y'all, you guys is working?
Okay. Yeah.
But that's a great thing, though. I always thought that. I'll give you an example why I say that, because with the Chicago Transit Authority, and I'm putting their business in the street. Yes, they don't pay their workers anything when they go off sick.
Exactly.
You know, only get about $200 a week, and come on now.
Exactly.
So you can help with supplemental on that.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
And that's the sick pay plus. We also have accident and sickness, where in case you get hurt, you know, let's say you're mowing the lawn, you hurt your leg or something, you can actually get cash paid directly to you.
Oh, okay.
In addition to, you know, any insurance, you know, that you
already have.
That you already have.
Wow.
So that's a good thing.
So
yeah, we can help all families.
So where are you located at?
Where the office I do work out of is at 2136 of West 95th Street.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm there. You know, you give me a call.
What's the number?
And you can reach me at 708-228-6342. I'm sorry, 708-228-6346.
Okay.
Okay, and that's my cell phone. Just leave a message, and then I'll get back to you.
And I can speak to you?
Yes, you can speak to me directly, Pamela Daniels.
Okay.
I also have an email, P as in Paul, DANIELS, so P Daniels 1712 @gmail.com.
At gmail.com?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to repeat that before you leave, okay?
Okay.
And so how long you been in the business?
Actually, I've been in the insurance business over 12 years. I used to do auto insurance. And then I transferred over to life and health insurance.
Why'd you leave auto? You had too many criminals that couldn't get insurance?
No. I just wanted to do something a little bit more and help more people.
Yeah.
And I saw the advantage of that, or helping the people, and I do understand personally how it is. So, yeah, and I like to help a lot of people.
I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
So is that the name of the company?
Yes, it is. PHP, People Helping People.
Oh, now, how long has that company been in existence?
That's been in existence for over 20-some years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the parent company is where? Is it here in Chicago?
Actually, it's in Texas.
Texas?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. And it's been around a while then.
Yes.
27 years.
Yeah.
That's quite some time. So where do you go from, if I want to get some, I'm back on that supplemental insurance.
Okay.
What kind of prices, how does that work?
Okay, well, let's say, for example, the accident and sickness, it ranges from 18, let's say, to 30, maybe about 33, 35. You're looking at accident and sickness silver plan, you're looking at $26 a month.
Really?
Yes, a month.
Really?
Yeah.
I can afford that.
Yes.
I can afford that.
And then if you go with the gold plan, then you're looking at roughly about $52 a month. So you just double the $26. So it's not bad at all.
Oh wow, that is great.
Yeah, and then the Sick Pay Plus, it goes from $800 a month all the way up to $2,000 a month. So you can pick which plan you want: $800, $1,000, $1,500, and $2,000.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man.
And it'll cover you up to 6 months.
So that's PHP. People
PHP,
Helping People.
People Helping People.
And this is Pamela Daniels.
Yes.
And give me that telephone number and that address again.
Okay, and telephone number again is 708-228-6346. And the email address is P as in Paul, Daniels, 1712@gmail.com. And the address is for People Helping People is 2136 West 95th Street.
And what times can they call, your office? What time is it?
They can call me at any time. Actually, I'm actually up from 8 to 8.
Okay.
I do receive calls. So, because I do know a lot of family works and everything. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times they can't, really do any business until after they get off work.
Right.
So it's really no time. You can call me from 8 in the morning to 10 at night.
Right. I know a lot of people that's watching this show would definitely be interested in, not only the supplemental, but the life insurance,
the life insurance,
and the whole package.
Yeah, the whole package. And which can, help a lot of people. Even they have insurance, which a lot of people don't know. And we're here to educate people about life insurance. It's not just death benefit.
Right.
It's to leave a legacy for your family,
that's one
for
of the
your
things,
children.
That's one of the things that, especially with African Americans,
yes,
we have this thing about we don't want to talk about no death and life insurance. And I was guilty of that when I was young too, because I guess maybe you think you're immortal or something.
Correct.
And as I travel around the country and in and outside the country, I start actually looking at that.
Yes.
And the best thing in the world, you love your family. The best thing in the world you can do is make sure that they're not hurt if you leave this earth.
Correct.
Make sure that they're not fighting over who's going to pay for your funeral and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I had a classmate that passed away, and they told me it passed away. Yeah. And so about a month later, they said, well, they haven't buried Wayne yet. I'm like, wait a minute, that was a month ago. Mm-hmm. Well, won't nobody pay for his funeral? What?
Oh, yeah.
So we got together and got the classmates together,
Correct.
But you don't want to go through that.
No, you don't. No, it don't. And that's the thing. That's why we're here to educate people, educate the family about the life insurance, and to show them it's just not a death benefit. It's also an insurance where you can even use it while you're living.
Right.
For those who are working, you have a death benefit plus a saving account along with it. So where in 3 to 5 years, you can draw from it.
Right.
So it's a great benefit.
But Pamela, I tell you what, and this is to the audience, you all need to call her and talk to her about that. And you got a lot of agencies around here, but this is one that, you might be interested in calling. So my advice to you, and let's get that number one more time before we leave.
Yes, 708-228-6346. You can ask for Pam Daniels. And again, the email address is pdaniels1712@gmail.com.
Oh, fantastic. Pam, I really appreciate you
Thank
coming
you
on
so
tonight.
much. Appreciate it.
You know, and a lot of helpful information there.
Thank you.
A lot of helpful information. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with my next guest, Danny Joe from Danny Joe Company. Well, Talk Labor fans, we're back, and wonderful segment there with Pamela Daniels, and a lot of information, a lot of good information. So you want to, write that down. If you didn't get the numbers, you can always pull this show up on the archives or go to YouTube and get the numbers off there, okay? And I think you'd be very pleased with what they have to offer. Now, as I said before, I have my little young co-host back, Danny Joe. She's been traveling the world, and I nailed her down for today, and I'm trying to sign her to a contract so that she has to be here when I. Right. Danny, how you doing?
Hey,
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, you've been doing a lot since you left here. You've been traveling around the country and.
Also had the opportunity to do a 6-month contract with the University of Chicago Charter School in Woodlawn.
Right.
Working with 6th through 8th grade kids,
teaching
them dance.
Teaching them dance, yeah.
Yeah, we did a Black History show.
Sure did. Wonderful.
It was wonderful. And then also we've been traveling also on the road with Storm Chaser Entertainment, so that's been going great, helping choreograph some artists. We also did a Wilder Entertainment event March 18th, and that was awesome. We had T.O. Williams, Sisters of Element, Marzette Griffith, and it was packed. Everyone loved it, so it was a great show.
Yeah, the young lady by the name of Brianna.
Brianna, yes. Mishanya. You guys have to check out these artists, and I need to have them on the show coming up. Yeah.
Well, guess what? We booked Marzette. He'll be on 2 weeks from now.
All right, cool.
For
Okay.
you. So we knew you were coming back. So
Yes.
But that's some big stuff that's happened to you. What else has happened to you since we left?
Well, you guys, Sunday I got married.
Yeah.
Not to just anybody, to T.O. Williams. Yes.
Whoa.
So I'm Mrs. Williams today and forevermore.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I happened to attend that wedding.
Yes.
And it was fantastic. You had a lot of great people there.
Yes, it was so fun.
A lot of celebrities there. You had Rhyme Fest and just a whole bunch of people there. And Sisters of Element, Nishan from Detroit, just
people traveled out.
Name a few. Elle, from the comedian, great comedian, and stuff like that. T-Star.
Yes. She was in the wedding.
She was in the wedding. That's right.
Yeah.
But anyway, you've been doing a lot of stuff lately, and we finally get you back here for a little while anyway. And to the audience, Danny is. She'll be here. She's going to be doing her show regularly, and she's not here. She has an intern that she's going to have come in and step up and do. My
intern, her name is Kiara. She's a young lady that's also into dance. She does a lot of other stuff, but mainly dance. And so she's working under me, and we're going to be teaching her whatever she needs to know in order to take off in the dance industry. So you guys, you're going to love her. She's so sweet.
Don't you just love these young people when they come out and they're very positive? You guys are doing a great job because, like you say, you were teaching dance to young people at the University of Chicago.
Yes.
Right? And, you, TL, now you're hooked up. You and TL are hooked up now. And you've been hooked up, but you're married now. You're doing some things, and it's just fantastic. And the guest, one of the guests I was talking about is going to be on the show. One of the things that people in Chicago is famous for is a dance called stepping.
Stepping.
Do y'all know anything about stepping? Danny, you know anything about stepping?
Yes.
You know something about stepping?
Yes. And stepping, you know, if you don't know how to step, you need to learn how to step. We got some stepping classes, out here, and they don't even cost that much,
Yeah.
About $5, I believe. Yeah, you can go to Rich City if you're on the in the south suburbs, Rich Cityscape. They have stepping.
Oh yeah,
Grand
yeah,
Ballroom.
that's true.
Yeah. So you know, I know where all the dances at. So if you need to know, I gotcha. But yeah, and you know the hottest stepping song out right now.
What's the hottest stepping song?
Getting more money than you. Yeah, and Michonne Young has a good stepping song out too. That's featuring T.L. Williams.
Well, I tell you another gentleman that has a great stepping song. Marzette Griffin.
Marzette Griffin, and y'all gonna see him.
Nothing but a party.
Next week.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
But the idea of stepping is just great. Like when I was young, I could dance. What y'all laughing about? What y'all laughing over there about? How you could dance? And I stopped. You get older, you're like, whatever. But I see these guys stepping. I'm like, man, that's nice. I'm gonna learn this. And I've been watching this one guy, but he could step his butt off. And I've been watching him, for about a year now. I said, this is the smoothest dude I've ever seen. Stepping, man. He can step, and not only can he step, he can sing.
He can sing.
He can sing. But I'm gonna let you see just what stepping is all about. So I want you to run that next clip, which is clip number 3, just to see what stepping is about. Now check this out. Check this. I mean, that is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you see the white guy in this?
They was having fun. They was grooving.
You know what? They said white people can't dance. Man, he made a lie out of somebody. Him and that lady. I mean,
he was on the floor.
Got down on the floor. Oh man, it is beautiful, beautiful. But the first guy you saw dancing was Marzette Griffin. He's won the World Stepping Championship twice.
And didn't he step in Love Jones?
He sure did.
I remember.
Sure did. I mean, this guy is just awesome, awesom. And you're going to have him on the show a couple weeks from now.
Yes.
And if we can get that clip with Marzette, just a bit, the one that just started to play earlier for Marzette, we get a little bit of how he sounds. Can we get that clip?
best friend. Somehow I knew I'd see you again. I've been waiting half the night. Now it's time to get it right. They're about to hit us with the light. And I say to you, your eyes show me that you got to prove. Your eyes tell me that you wanna move. And from the smell of your perfume, I can feel you getting closer to me from across the room. It's nothing but a party, and if it takes all night, it's nothing but a party. We're gonna get it up. It's nothing but a party, and if it takes all night, it's nothing but a party. We're gonna get it.
It's nothing but
There you go.
right here.
He's going to be on our show on the 21st, and what a talented gentleman.
Yes, I can't wait to interview him.
Yeah.
Yes.
My engineer said he's the best singer in Chicago.
He's the best singer in Chicago.
That's what he said. He's the best singer in Chicago, and we're going to have him right here, and we're going to, and have some more entertainers and entrepreneurs there.
So you better make sure you're watching April 21st.
April 21st, be right here. Now, we're going to take it a little bit further, and I talk about people with guns, and I'm talking about not just police. I'm talking about these little numbnut kids running around here shooting people, thinking that they're gangsters. You're nothing but idiots, And this is what people want you to do: shoot your people up and kill them, and you're just so damn stupid you don't know no better. So we get tired of that, and we're gonna see if we can do some things about it. What we do, we give out scholarships. We gave out, as you know, Danny, $17 million in scholarships last year.
Right.
And we look to do it again this year. We're going to give you the school after at our next show.
Okay.
Where we're going to be at. It's going to be on the 23rd of September, and we're going to make sure that these people, our kids, get this education. That's how you stop this killing and stuff.
Yeah.
Education, yes.
Give them the money to go to school.
Yes, and giving them some extra curricular activities.
Yes.
This is what we got to do. Give them jobs. Make sure they get jobs like all other kids in the United States.
Everybody has the opportunities.
Yes.
Except our kids.
Yes.
So we got to make it.
Yeah. And then we stopped a lot of this violence.
Mm-hmm.
But when people got guns, they feel like they're like God, and but they're really not. They're really not. It's like hunting a rabbit with a gun. Poor little rabbit, But it ain't no fun when the rabbit get the gun.
Right.
And I'm gonna show you why on this next clip. Run this next clip.
Au moment où le cerf m'a attaqué, je ne m'attendais pas du tout à cela. Il m'a jeté par terre et m'a frappé au visage avec ses sabots.
Cet événement m'a terrorisé parce que je regardais dans le viseur et j'étais convaincu que je filmais les derniers instants de la vie de mon mari.
Ce qui m'a le plus effrayé, c'est lorsque j'ai tenté de me défendre. Alors le cerf s'y met à me frapper violemment, en pleine figure. Je commençais à m'essouffler et j'arrivais difficilement à le repousser.
Quand le cerf s'est dressé sur ses pattes de derrière comme un ours et s'est mis à s'en prendre à Lynn, j'ai cru que son heure était venue. La bête l'a jeté au sol, puis lui a piétiné le visage et le corps.
I tell you, they no fun when the rabbit got. That deer was like, "You shot my brother." I remember you, man. I tell you, when you just shooting animals for sport, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I tell these poor animals. What do you think about that, Dad?
I think he deserved it.
He did deserve it, I'm telling you, man.
That deer wouldn't let up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, we're getting close to running out of time, but one of the things I always do, Danny, I try to give young people some history on where you came from, in order to know where you're going. I say that about everything you do in life, labor, just life, and especially in the entertainment business. When you look at the kids today and they come out with these dances, the nay and the stanky leg. I was doing all that stuff back then. But now people think that, I invented all this. No, you didn't. Your grandmama, your great-grandmama, your mama's mama, your daddy's mama, they had this stuff way back then. Mm-hmm. But you got to give them credit for paving the way for you. So that you can do it and have a great life at it and stuff like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this back to, when my mama was a little girl. Okay. Back to, and one of the places that people frequent, black people, was the Cotton Club. I mean, if you get to the Cotton Club, you've made it. You've done it, man. So I want to take you back to there and let you see some of the ladies, and by the way, they censored this show back then because they say that the black women were showing too much. Nowhere near what they show today. Yeah, right. But anyway, we want to go back and watch how they created their dances and stuff. Let's watch this clip. Isn't that's good? Yeah. You know what I like about them so much is they were entertainers. Yes. They were entertainers, and they just did it.
Talented, energetic, entertained, and they knew what they were doing.
Yes. I
loved it.
And down in that time, they didn't allow them into certain clubs and stuff like that, but they made it their own. They did their own thing, and that's what we have to do today. Go back to that. We had our own ma and pa stuff, and we made it, and we advanced like that. So, and in the entertainment, you started it, and you have to finish it. One of the things, I know you identify with the ladies dancing because that's what you do. You're a choreographer.
Yeah.
You do a lot of stuff with a lot of big people.
Yes. They were beautiful.
Yeah. Well, this is, again, you've been watching Talk Labor, and I want to thank my guests for coming on today. And we're going to, like I say, we're going to be at the Promontory next Thursday.
Yes, April 14th.
And we'll be watching,
So we'll be watching the launch party of the new app called Keepsake. And Keepsake is started by Nick Talwar. He used to be the code generator for Microsoft, and now he started his own app where you can own your own photos. So now you have the opportunity to send a photo and unsend it. So you don't have to worry about somebody having all your information on the internet. So it's your own ownership of your own things that you're sending. So that's the first time an app has ever done that, and also the first time that an app has an album inside of that. And an album is produced, and the executive producer of that is T.L. Williams. So they'll have a launch party April 14th at the Promontory. Also, there will be a concert for that mixtape. So it's going to be live streaming. You can watch it. You can be there. It's free. Just come out, party with us.
Free?
Yes.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Okay. Well, you've seen Talk Labor today, and we'll be back on 14th. And in the meantime, I won't be back. I won't be back on the 14th.
On 14th at this time at 6:30.
We'll be back at 21st.
Yeah.
Yes. And you heard my producer growling at me when I said 14th.
Right.
21st. I'm sorry, Miss Producer. But we will send information. We will run one of the shows and be a rerun next week. But we're back live again on the 14th. 21st. Okay, 14th we'll be at the Promontory.
Right.
And we're going to get some live shots from there that we're going to show on the 21st.
Got it.
Okay. All right. This is Talk Labor. We want you to do what you do, and that is keep talking. Keep talking and keep talking. We'll see you again.
It's time to talk about what's going on in America. It's time to talk about what's going on in the workforce and in the homes of the American middle class. It's time to talk about the status and the future of today's economy. It's time to talk labor with your host, Jerry Williams Sr.